What is going on, fantasy football faithful? I cannot believe I am about to say this, but here we are in the fantasy football championships. And if you play week 18 championships, what are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway, it's going to be a good show today. Give me a different show here this morning because it's a championship and because I wanted to make sure that I gave my all to you guys, the listeners, the people that I see in the chats. Gooner Boy in the chat. Harry Snowman, my brother, in the chat. Bronton in the chat. I'm here from the future to tell you that Peyton Durham will bring you your fantasy football championships. I am happy to have you this beautiful Sunday morning, Bronton, and of course, all the other usually, all the other guys that we kick it with in the morning, Dynasty, Barry, Fizzle, T-Rock, these guys are the best. And then, of course, so basically this episode, I'm not going to go through my rankings like I typically do and highlight guys that I wanted to talk about because at the end of the day, it's not really about who I want to talk about. It's making sure that each and every one of you have your lineups ready to rock. So we're not going to go. So I'll give you your typical show here. I'm going to answer every single question here. And of course, you want to jump the line, get to the top of the chat. You can drop a super chat and we'll make sure that we answer it. We'll get into depth. We'll help you out the best you can. So make sure that those questions for your fantasy championship lineups are in the chat. I do want to talk about something real quick off the top. I have a couple of topics that I do want to just kind of talk about. We'll go through weather. I want to make sure we go through the weather today because it's a wild weather day across the country. And I want to make sure that everyone knows the situation as they make, again, their final lineup decisions. And then, of course, you can come back here at the South Harmon YouTube channel and watch Start or Shit with Eric Vanek, T-Rock, and others and get those lineups completely dialed and ready to rock and roll for kickoff. But the question that I want to ask, and if you're in the chat, leave your comments on what you think here. We're going to talk it through as bros, as fam. Do we have to start having the conversation of the fantasy football championship being moved up a week? I've seen cases for, I've seen cases against it. I don't know how I feel personally, but I do want to talk about it, like the pros and the cons about moving the fantasy football championship up a week. The pros now, it seems as if week 17 is the week guys are getting shut down. Now, it could be a 1 year kind of sample. We haven't seen this we haven't seen it to this degree before. But this year, CeeDee Lamb getting shut down, Chuba Hubbard getting shut down. These are players that no doubt, these are players that got you probably into the championship. I mean, we talked about CeeDee Lamb last week, top 12 WoRP guy on the season. And even, Chuba Hubbard, top 35 guy, running back 15 in WoRP, super, super, super valuable this year. And it feels like it also is a weird year where like the bad teams are really bad in the NFL. So are we just seeing teams kind of give up because the writing was on the wall a long time ago? I don't know. And of course, the biggest con, the reason why I'm so on the fence in regards to this decision for a lot of leagues going into next year is week 14 bye. You cannot have that many teams on bye. Remember how nasty week 14 was? No Lamar, no Derrick Henry, no Jaden Daniels, no Terry McLaurin. It was nasty. It was real bad in week 14, and you cannot have that in the fantasy playoffs. You cannot have that in the fantasy playoffs. But if this continues where teams are shutting players down in week 16, week 17, man, it's definitely going to be a question to be had. So let me know in the chat. What do you think? Do you want your league to move the championship week up? What are your cases for it? What are your cases against it? This is a decision I think a lot of commissioners are going to have to make in the offseason. So let's see. Let's see how that works out. I want to hear what you guys think in the chat. So leave in the chat. We do have some questions in the chat. Of course, like I said, I'll go through my rankings kind of briefly and just talk chit chat. I like to typically do deep dives into my rankings, But now with the fantasy championship on the line, it doesn't matter who I want to talk about. I want to talk about the guys you want to hear me talk about. So if you have a lineup question, drop it in the chat. If you say, hey, Kiwoom, I really need you to talk about what you think Kyle Pitts is going to do this week, leave it in the chat. We're going to get to all of them. And, of course, you want to jump the line. You want me to go in-depth. You want me to go step-by-step to help you out. Go ahead and leave a super chat. You'll climb to the tippity top. Actually, before I get into the question, I'm going to let some questions pile up here a few minutes. So stick around, guys. I'm seeing Matt Postlin in the chat. I'm sorry. I should never try to pronounce last names. It's so terrible. But as a former fellow Matt's in the chat. Shout out to you. Devin's in the chat. Chaz is in the chat. Guys, stick around. I'm going to get to all these questions, no doubt. We'll dive into some things. But before that, I just want to go real quick through the weather out there. Weather out there. There's a lot of bad weather games, folks. I don't know if you know this, if you've had a chance to look around the country. There's some bad weather games. So I have some things that I've just kind of made note of. Shout out to Matt FF Dynasty on X. He does this awesome weather report each and every week. He's worth a follow for that alone. So shout out to Matt regarding that. So some notes that I made off of his Twitter thread. It looks like Buffalo is going to have some wind, nothing too crazy, but a lot of rain. A lot of rain here. We could be light. There is a chance for a heavier rainfall from the second quarter on. So what does that mean? I don't know if that really hurts many of the aspects because we're not really too high on Aaron Rodgers. I got him outside of my top 15. Devontae Adams, who will play, I have him ranked high. Maybe he's a little bit more of a fade now with this weather. But on the Buffalo side, you're going to play James Cook. You're going to play Josh Allen, no doubt, because of the way he scampers on the floor, the way he will run it in. Nothing's going to really change there. Tennessee at Jacksonville. There are possible thunderstorms. Florida gets rain pretty much every day, but if you look at the weather report, I looked at it hour by hour. It looks like it could rain the entire game. The severity of the rain kind of is what I could not really find. I could not lock in. But I mean, this game, we weren't really relying. We weren't hoping to have to rely on many people, especially now with Pollard out. I know I saw some Spears questions in the chat, and of course we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, that could be good for the ground attack there. Could be a little bit of a negative against Brian Thomas Jr. I got Brian Thomas Jr. as a top 10 play. The weather's not going to fade him completely, but if I'm trying to make decisions, I got to stack the room, and I'm trying to make decisions between Brian Thomas or Malik Neighbors. Maybe I go Neighbors here. So many receivers and so many players are now out because of the Christmas game, the Saturday games. Also, the NFL kind of side note, I think the NFL kind of fucked us, fantasy gamers. Having games Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, it completely just like throws out your routine. If you don't have a trade deadline, you couldn't make trades. People were locked up. I know in my home league, I got Kelsey, and I'm out of the championship. The guy in the championship is going to be playing Peyton Durham, so maybe Bronson will be right, and he won't mind. But he's going to be playing. He's going to be playing a tight end, and not to say he should have traded for Kelsey. He can still win with what he has. But maybe had he had the wherewithal, if he would have known what he was looking at, he had Njoku as his tight end. If he would have known for sure and had those extra days, I'm just saying, like, if you don't have a trade deadline and you couldn't trade for a Kelsey, you couldn't trade for a Mahomes, you couldn't make these trades because they played Wednesday. Yeah, it sucks. I hate that. But anyway, let's keep moving real quick. Indianapolis in New York, or in New Jersey, possible showers, but it doesn't look like it's going to be affected much at all. How you were planning for this game, you should continue to do so. A big game in question. I saw them even hyping this up on ESPN. Dallas at Philly. They're really not going to be that bad. Possible showers, but warm temperatures for Philly in the 60s. Wind will be a mild factor. So if you were planning on starting A.J. Brown, you're going to definitely start him. Saquon might go berserko. But, I mean, this game lost Jalen Hurts and CeeDee Lamb. Oh, man, it sucks. It sucks, but that's the game we play. Carolina at Tampa. Expected the conditions to be a lot like it was in Jacksonville. Possible thunderstorms. But the severity of the rain remains to be seen. This is also what I wanted to bring up. Yeah, let's go. All right, so Harry Snowman, yeah, the National Weather Service issued a tornado effect until 3 p.m. in the afternoon for the following Florida, and that's Tennessee. That's the Tennessee game. Okay, wow. So good, thank you for that, Harry Snowman, who's down there in Florida. But as far as the Carolina and Tampa game, I mean, you're not really playing on the Carolina side. The Buccaneers side, I think it's just kind of proceed as you were going to. I don't think if the weather looks like it'll be too bad throughout the entirety of the game. There might be spurts where they have to slow it down. But if you're going to play Bucky, you love that. If you're going to play Rashad White, I do like Rashad White this week. I got him as a top 20 play at running back 17. So I do like that. All right, let's keep moving. Miami at Cleveland. Possible rain the entire game. The winds can get pretty heavy at times. No Tua Tagovailoa or severely hurt Tua Tagovailoa. I think he's been officially ruled out by now. I'd play A-Chain. I got him as a top 10 play. After this news, he's probably more like 12, 13. Man, my rankings just got shredded over these last couple of days in terms of who played and injuries and all that stuff. But I was out on this game anyway because of all these injuries. Other than A-Chain, I'm going to continue to play it that way. And then some likely rain in the Washington-Atlanta game tonight, but that's going to be a little bit tougher to predict. So keep your eye on that. Could be nasty weather. All right, let's get into some questions. Let's get into the chat. Want to go over the weather again? Shout out to Matt FF Dynasty who talks about the weather report. It's nice. He has a grading system. I highly recommend checking him out on X. Yes, Matt FF Dynasty. All right, let's get into some questions here. Enough of me yapping. Q, we need to talk about how we're going to win these matchups. Let's get into some chats here. Neighbors, Garendo, or Jerome Ford need one of these in half-point PPR. I mean, these are good options. Garendo, a top 20 option. Ford, a top 20 option. Ford now with that weather could get a little bit more work on the ground. But I'm going to go with Neighbors. The targets have just been so stupid. He's getting so many targets. The weather doesn't look to be that bad in that game. In Indianapolis, with Joe Flacco at quarterback, that game could have hit the over in a surprising way. We obviously like guys like Michael Pittman more than we did a couple days ago. Josh Downs. All these guys move up, and it is also going to continue to help the Malik Neighbors. If he's going to get 12 targets, even half-point PPR, I want it. I want him on my team. I'm gonna go with the big dog, Malik Neighbors there, Gooner boy. Chaz, start AJ Brown or Devontae Adams, and then Aubrey or Rashad. I am going to go Aubrey. He's just such a weapon, and the weather doesn't seem to be too bad. Rashad's indoors. But Aubrey's been so good, right? Like 20 points last week or some nonsense like that. I gotta double check this because this is gonna be talking kickers here. That's how you know I love you guys. Talking kickers here in the championship because kickers matter. They can win you matchups, no doubt. So over the last month, 5 games, 10 points, 9 points, 9 points, 15 points, 21 points in Philadelphia. In the rain, could this be like a 2 field goal game, 6 points? And then Rashad indoors. How good has he been? How good has Rashad been? Because I don't really. Rashad, here we go. Rashad's been pretty lethal. We're going to go Rashad. We're going to go Rashad, Chaz, and that's the in-depth you can get here. At the game plan, we're getting you ready to rock. I'm going to go Rashad because it's indoors, and I believe the over-under will be the over of that over-under has a better likelihood. And then as far as Brown or Adams, I think they're both kind of dealing with a little bit of weather, but I'm going to go with Brown. I'm going to chase those targets. It was 15 targets with Kenny Pickett. I'm going to go with AJ Brown here over Devontae Adams, who both guys will have a little bit of weather that they're dealing with as opposed to other factors. Matt Thielen or Tajay Spears. I get brain cramp. I'm going to go Spears here. I'm going to go Spears against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been a pretty weak defense against the run. No Tony Pollard. Potential bad weather. A lot of work on the ground. I'm going to go Spears. I think he's going to be one of those guys we look back on and be like, oh, man, I'm glad I played Spears in the championship. So, Matt, go with Spears. Start 2 full point PPR with a 1.75 TEP. Tyreek, Thielen, Debo, or Jonnu Smith. Man. This is a tough one here, Devin, because I don't love the chances of, Jonnu Smith being productive in bad weather with a backup quarterback. Let me just double check on Tua also, because I had before I hit the record button, I hadn't seen it be official other than it was doubtful. I'm sure you're yelling at me in the chat, like, get your shite together, but this is okay, because this is why I don't usually go in depth. I usually just guess and run with it. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Let me see. Tua tags. Still no official report, right? I don't see anything officially on Tua tags, but we're gonna proceed like he's not playing. I saw doubtful stuff. That was the last that I had seen. Let me just double check, because I want to make sure. Like really make sure. Yeah, still with the doubtful tag. 0 points projected on sleeper. Yeah, we're gonna play leagues out. All right, Stephen. All right, so with that being said, I'm taking out Tyreek. I'm taking out Jonnu. It's between Thielen and Deebo Samuel for me. I do have Thielen ranked a handful of spots higher. But having said that, weather looks okay. Tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. I think the over looks good, and the Lions have been able to be exploited over the middle of the field. I'm actually going to go Deebo Samuel here and take the final fizz. Get the Monday night exposure. Get the over under. You want part of that? That's a game that's pushing 50 or over 50 at this point. Yeah, Thielen is good. Safe option. I will concede this point though, Devin, just so you have my full thoughts on it. If you are playing catch up, if you're playing, you went against Kelsey and went against Henry and went against T. Higgins, Joe Burrow. If you need a lot of points, I'm going Deebo. If you have those guys and you need the floor, then I think Thielen's a move. The big ham, Breece Hall or A.J. Brown, 1 point PPR, start 10. I'm going to go with Breece Hall here. I'm going to go with Breece Hall. I got Breece Hall inside my top 10, and A.J. Brown is right inside my top 5 at receiver. But I'm going to go with Breece Hall here with the bad weather in Buffalo. It could be an opportunity to hand the ball off a lot, to really use him like they had in the past, or the beginning part of the season, really just workhorse style. You got the PPR there, so there's going to be dump offs in this game, given the potential win factor, the crosswinds in that game. I'm going to go Breece. I'm going to go big Breece Hall here. McMillan, J-Mo, and Michael Pittman, or Scary Terry. You got to pick 2 of these guys. Ooh. I'm going to go with Terry. This is a tough decision here. I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin, Terry Mack here with one of them. He's a top 10 play for me this week. So I'm not going to shy away with it. So I'm going to play him. Then after that, it becomes a decision between McMillan and J-Mo for me. I like Pittman without AR, but these options are too good to play that risk. And I think I'm going to go – they're back-to-back in my rankings, Snowman, but I'm going to go with Jameson Williams because I want exposure to that game over Tampa Bay, Carolina. So I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin and Jameson Williams. Blue Magic. Oh, we got the Blue Magic shirt right now, baby. Tyreek without Tua, Myers, McMillan, or Ford for his flex. Blue Magic. I would rock with the 1 point PPR. I would rock with Myers here. I got Myers at running as a top 15 wide receiver after the updates. I'm going to go with Myers here. Bronton, okay, this is back to the question. Should we move it up? I think the chaos of championship week is and always has been part of it. Adds to the difficulty of winning a championship. I just embrace it at this point. It is fun. It does lead to chaos. And if your trade deadline, if you don't have a trade deadline, then it does allow for the chaos and the scramble. And I've also saw some discourse about having a deadline, and I don't think you should. I think that it's a great way for teams to get better quicker because they can leverage desperation. If you like, I would imagine this week I have seen way too many Lamb and Jalen Hurts trades for win now players of a kind of similar tier, but something they're definitely going to regret next season. So I do like the way that people can leverage desperation. So that's a good point, Brian. Michael Penix, Kenny Pickett, or Tyler Huntley. We are not going to go with Tyler Huntley. For me, I'm just going to go with Penix. I just believe Penix is the best player of these three quarterbacks. So we're going to go with Penix. Let's go Penix. Spears or Jonnu with a 2-point TEP. I might go Jonnu there. That's enough to make me go Jonnu. I do have Jonnu as a top 8 play, even with Tyler Huntley. So with that super premium, yeah, I'm going to go with Jonnu. Wan'Dale Robinson or Amir Abdullah for the freaking ship. Yuck. But D, this is where legends are made. You know, this guy that you choose between these two might become a legend, might become a franchise Hall of Fame. Maybe you retire his number on your fantasy team. You know, who knows? This is where legends are made. And for me, if I was put with this decision, I would probably lean on Wan'Dale Robinson. I'd probably go a little Wan'Dale here. So over at South Harmon, we have this score. We call it the Cuck score, the cornerbacks under constant chaos. It's a matchup metric that we use. And right now, Wan'Dale Robinson has the 12th highest Cuck score. And what that means is he has a better likelihood to overshoot with projection. Projections are around 10 points again. And we saw it last week. You know, he did get enough volume with Drew Lock. Drew Lock will be the quarterback. He's going to see a lot of Kenny Moore against Indianapolis. Kenny Moore has been a pretty easy matchup this year. He's given up a lot of targets, about a 70% catch rate. He's been able to be taken care of. So I'm going to go with Wan'Dale over Amir Abdullah here. So let's go Wan'Dale in PPR. Let's do it for the freaking ship, baby. Grinding gets you ships, baby. This grinding gets you ships. Tracy, Guerendo, Neighbors, and Downs need to sit 1 in half-point PPR. I think I would sit Tracy. I like the Downs matchup. There's a lot going on in this matchup, though, Gooner. Oh, my God. You're going to be watching a lot of Colts-Giants, probably a game you weren't expecting to be all excited about when you saw the schedules roll out early in the year. But Tracy, Guerendo, Neighbors, and Downs. I'm going to play Guerendo on Monday night. I'm going to play Neighbors, and I'm going to play Downs. I'm going to sit Tracy here. Guerendo, Dowdle, and Tracy need to sit 1 in the full-point PPR, half-point per carry. In this situation, I'm sitting Dowdle. I'm going to sit Dowdle there. 12-team PPR with a TEP of 1.5. Would I rather roll out Debo, Pittman, or Tucker Kraft? The 1.5 TEP doesn't do enough for me to boost Kraft. Kraft's been a big time. He's been kind of a high ADOT, long-range, deep attack type of weapon for the Packers. We're seeing a lot of like 3 catches, 70 yards, touchdown, or 4 catches and 80 yards. We're seeing a lot of those type of games. So I don't know if the TEP at 1.5 is enough to push him up the rankings for me over these guys. And then it becomes between, for me, Debo, Samuel, and Michael Pittman. Both guys are ranked pretty similarly, just outside the top 24. So they're high-end wide receiver 3s. For me, I'm going to go with Debo. Because I know the situation. We are expecting Pittman to play better with Flacco because he has. But we don't know that'll be him. We don't know if he'll get the volume. And I just want a piece of this Monday Night Football game. So I'm going to go Debo in the 12-point full-point PPR. Hit the like button. Yes, hit that like button, freak. Hey, thank you so much for the reminder. Make sure you are subscribed to the South Harmon YouTube channel. Make sure you're liking this video. Leave a comment. Let's go. This is the community we're trying to build. We got a lot of things going for 2025. This will be, I guess I probably should have started the show with this, but this will be the last game plan of this season. We'll be back. We got a lot of big announcements to be made at South Harmon. A lot of things that we're working on. Very, very excited for 2025. So yeah, be on the lookout for those excitements. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you're getting over SouthHarmonFF.com, and make sure you're jumping on the Patreon, patreon.com/South Harmon. We don't stop. We got a lot going on in the off season: prospect profiles, film studies, breakdowns and dynasty trades, where you can leverage the draft, all the stuff we're going to be able to talk about all off season. So make sure you're still tuning in, tapping in to South Harmon for the rest of the offseason. Now let's get back to these questions after the plugs have subsided. Also, hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. And if you're celebrating Hanukkah, I think it's the third day of Hanukkah, right? Started the day after Christmas, I believe, the 26th. Where's my dates here? I haven't, kids are home from school. Work has been working, not really working. It's a weird time. Don't know my days, but happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas. Hope you guys enjoy all those great holidays with your family and friends. John, who you got, Tracy or Garrett Wilson? Half point PPR. Everything I'm reading says Rodgers going to fuel Adams for 500 TDs. Hey, funnel, fuel. Can't even read. Funnel. I think even without the bro science, and shout out to you, John. You know, I got my PhD in bro science. I am the forefront leader in fantasy analysis via bro science. So I do like that. But I would go Tracy regardless. With the potential yucky passing weather in Buffalo, I think that Tracy will still get that workload. Indianapolis has been a middle of the road matchup for running backs. I got him ranked inside my, right outside my top 12, but a running back 2, strong, solid this week. And with all the factors in, I like Garrett Wilson heading into the week, but I've since kind of pushed him outside of my top 24. So we're gonna go with Tracy there. PPR start 10, Breece Hall or Devin A-Chain. With all the changes going on, I'm going to go with Breece. I had Devon A-Chain ranked higher, but with no Tua, it's been tougher for him to get those targets. The game plan changed tremendously. In Breece Hall, I think that the opportunity for the Jets to look decent, and I don't know if they've completely packed it in just yet. So I'm gonna go with Breece here. How do I feel about Juwan Jennings in 1 point PPR? Juwan Jennings or Breece Hall? I do like Jennings this week, and I'm gonna play Jennings over Breece Hall. Wow. I want to take this clip. B, let's make a clip here. Let's make a note of this. 2750. Let's make a note of this. In week 16. Week 17, the fantasy football championships, you're going to start Juwan Jennings over Breece Hall. Clip it. And then put it in the time machine. Send it back to me in August. Send it back to me in like September 1st. Okay, B, let's send that back in time so I can show myself and I can laugh at myself. But yeah, we're going to play Juwan Jennings over Breece Hall. 1 exposure to this game. Like I said, and I already had him as a top 10 play, Juwan Jennings. So we're gonna rock it. We're gonna rock it. We're gonna go the process. I can't believe we're doing it. Can't believe we're saying it, but man, it's true. We're gonna go Juwan Jennings over Breece Hall. Crazy. How high am I? Not at all. What are you saying? Just kidding. How high am I in Raheem Blackshear? Is he a worthy flex over Neighbors or Garrett Wilson? I'm gonna go no. I've been frantically trying to add Blackshear in my best ball leagues where I don't have to make the decision. But it seems like it'll be Blackshear. It seems like it'll be Boone. Blackshear has a little bit more familiarity, I would say. He's been kind of around. He's been active. But I don't know. I'm not starting him over these plays. I don't low. I'd say I'd have him in the Amir Abdullah, kind of Madison, Tyler Algier range. That's probably where I would say that I have Blackshear right now. So I'm not super high, but I'm not fading him if you need to use him. But with those options, I would go Neighbors comfortably. I'd happily go Neighbors. And then even if you are unsure, I could definitely go Garrett Wilson over Blackshear. But Neighbors would be the play for me. Got to pick 2, the friendly fantasy. Oh, the friendly football fan. Hey, I like making friends. Pick 2, Grendo, Thielen, Neighbors, or Ridley. I gotta see kind of how I'm feeling on Ridley. I don't love the weather, but I do like the hyper targets that Mason Rudolph has thrown his way. I'm definitely gonna go Neighbors here. I'm gonna stick with my Neighbors, and you know what? I'm just gonna stick with today's episode. Stick with the process. Give me that game on Monday Night Football. We were stacking our best ball teams for this week 17 matchup. Here it is. We're not going to shy away from it. Grendo, good to go. Listed early, taken off the injury report yesterday, Saturday. So a couple days in advance. All signs point to Isaac Grendo getting a lot of the workload in a big exciting game. So I'm going to go Grendo. I'm going to go with Neighbors here. Colts or Miami DST. Oh, baby. Oh, I'm going to go with Miami. Drew Lock can fuck around and throw some garbage time touchdowns. DTR shouldn't be in the league. Dorian Thompson-Robinson shouldn't be a quarterback in the NFL. No offense to him. I shouldn't be either. I'm not saying, I don't know why I qualify it, but he would look so bad last week. And the Bengals' defense is water trash. They suck. And they had a pretty good fantasy game against the Browns. I know they kind of put on some late, not enough. I'm going to go Miami here. 1 point PPR start 10. Laporta or Strange. Give me Sam Laporta. I was feeling a little frisky about Sam Laporta. Have him as top 3 play this week. Sam Laporta, my tight end 2 after I take out Trey McBride. Sam Laporta, fire him up this week. I appreciate you, Matt. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Oh, but I appreciate you, Fantasy Condo. You're the man. Thank you for tuning in for Week 16. We got a lot of big things coming at South Harmon, so stick around for that stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. Emmanuel, shout out to you, my friend. Need 2 full-point PPR. Garendo, Thielen, Ridley, or neighbors. Did I just handle this? Oh, it must be his. Okay, that must be. All right, Emmanuel, you must be the friendly football fan. Got to be. That's just crazy. But I'm going to go with Garendo, and I'm going to go with neighbors. Jennings or Jerome Ford, Eric. I'm going to go Jennings. Like I said, top 10 play after I make the updates. I'm going to go Jennings here. T-Rock, Matty's been a great starting for my Fantasy Sunday. You're the man, T-Rock. I love you, T-Rock. I love you. We're going to have too much. What's good, South? What's up, Shane? Oh, Shane's up. What's up, Shane? All right, one more question here. We'll keep it moving. What's up, Jerry? Thielen, Jonnu, Ridley, D. Smith got a pick 3, got a 1.5 tight end premium. I'm actually just the 1.5 isn't enough for me here, Gerald, so I'm going to go with Thielen, Ridley, and D. Smith. I'm going to go with Thielen, Ridley, D. Smith. I like all 3 of those guys. Actually, D. Smith, Kenny Pickett. Yeah, let's go Ridley, Jonnu, Thielen. Ridley, Jonnu, Thielen. Yep. That's my final answer. All right, so we'll wait for some more questions to pop up in the chat here. Talk about some of my rankings this week, some of the decisions, the hardest kind of rankings decisions, and how the process I led to it, and see if this helps you make any decisions between some of the guys on your team. So for me, Ford was a tough decision for me because on one hand, we love the volume that he's seen without Nick Chubb. I just was not sure of the offense led by DTR. Wasn't sure about how it would look against Miami this week. Miami's been a tough matchup. Miami has not been the easiest of matchups for running backs. Matter of fact, they've been out, below average, right outside. So number 17 overall. So it hasn't been easy. It's been tougher as of late. But when Jerome Ford has played, a lot, the full lion's share of snaps. So he's been awesome. I mean, week 1, 75% of snaps, 19 fantasy points. Last week, 80% of the snaps, 24 fantasy points, running back 9. So for me, it was a decision of the player, the volume versus the matchup. And I ultimately decided with the player, with the situation, with the volume here. I put him inside my top 15. After making the adjustments, with Tony Pollard being out, I ranked him ahead of Aaron Jones. And Aaron Jones, the revenge game this week against the Packers. Obviously, he's in a good spot. I do like him as well. But I just decided that Jerome Ford was a good play. Jerome Ford was someone that hopefully, teams were adding halfway point through the season when, he was being dropped everywhere in redraft. And now this week he has a chance to get the volume again. I mean, I expect the vast amount of snaps being with Ford in the field. He did get the 5 targets last week. I don't know if he gets that this week. That catch-up mode with the Bengals was awesome for Njoku, for Ford. But we did see Ford break that 60-yard run. We've seen the explosiveness. There's not a whole lot in the analytical profile that gets you uber excited, but that's due to a lack of consistent playing time. But on the more efficiency metrics, pretty good yards per touch. He creates a lot per touch. He's been fairly explosive. And he catches all the ball. Like, if he's going to get 4 or 5 targets, he's probably going to have 4 or 5 catches. He has one of the highest catch rates amongst running backs this year. So for me, Ford was a running back too, someone that I wanted to play, someone that I had inside my top 20, top 15 as things settled in. Another player that for me was a little tough to rank was Baker Mayfield. So for me, Baker obviously Baker's been so good this year for the Buccaneers. Another repeat performance in a good matchup. Carolina has been a top 8 matchup for quarterbacks. So for me, it was like, do I push him ahead of a lot of the guys that went yesterday in Thursday and Christmas and all that stuff? Do I push him ahead of that group? I ultimately decided yes. I have Baker Mayfield as a top 5 quarterback. He's actually going to be top 4 now after I removed Bo Nix. So my rankings was Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Bo Nix, Jalen Hurts. That was beginning of the week. That obviously is no longer the case. Burrow moved in at number 4, and then Baker was 5, but now with Deal, he's actually top 3. The rankings are so crazy this week with that. But yeah, Baker. I decided to go with Baker. I'm playing Baker. If I had Baker or Jordan Love, I'm going Baker. I'm going Baker over Goff. I'm going Baker over Darnold. I'm going Baker over Purdy. I'm going Baker over Penix. I'm playing Baker this week. We've seen it with his full array of weapons or without weapons. He's still been able to produce 3 straight games, top 8 quarterback performances. Back-to-back weeks, he was quarterback 5 in 15. He was quarterback 6 last week in week 16. He's hovering around 300 yards per game. The completion percentage has been bananas over his last 5 games. He's at an 80% completion percentage or better twice. That's wild. He's been very good this year. We've seen a lot of these analyticals. You look at his analytical profile, top 10 in true completion percentage, top 5 in fantasy points per game, EPA top 4. I mean, he's been fantastic. And then when you look at the WoRP, even in our WoRP stats here, he's been fantastic. He's been in 2 QB leagues. He's been one of the most valuable players this season. He's been a QB3. He's been a top 20 player in 1 QB in WoRP. So super valuable guy. Baker Mayfield. You're gonna dance with the person you brought. You're gonna have that final slow dance with the person you brought to the prom, aka Baker Mayfield got you here. Don't shy away from it. Don't get too cute. Play Baker Mayfield this week. I see some questions piling up, so let's get back to it. Like I said, different episode today. I just really wanted to dedicate this hour, this block, of time to everybody rocking, everybody who woke up, everyone who joined, get those lineups dialed in, talk a little bit about whatever you want, whatever you feel like. We talked a little weather at the top of the show. We talked some rankings here, but we'll keep going through it. Every question has to be talked about. And even if you want just me to ask you, if you have a particular player you want to break down on, drop it in the chat here. I'm going to stick around till 11 o'clock. We're going to make sure that everything is planned accordingly. Make sure your game plan is tight, ready to rock, and then to put the little finishing touches. Come back at noon for starter shit. Chigakonkwo or Tyler, TJ Hawkinson in a full point TEP. Man, I'm going to go Hawkinson. I know Chig's been pretty good. Chig's been surprisingly solid, especially, had that was it last week that he had that late touchdown? No, it's been back-to-back weeks. I mean, the double-digit targets back-to-back weeks it's awesome. It's awesome. So I understand wanting to go with Chig, but I'm gonna go with TJ Hawkinson in the dome. I'm gonna go with TJ Hawkinson in the better offense here. But that's a good one. Chig is a good option. Chig was my streaming tight end of the week. I had him ranked inside my top 12, but I still got Hawkinson inside my top 8. So let's go Hawk there, Prob. Is it P-Rob or Prob? Let me know. I want to make sure I get that right. You rocking with me? I want to make sure I'm rocking with you. Jonnu or Chigakonkwo? I'm going to go Chigakonkwo here. I am going to go Chigakonkwo here over Jonnu Smith. This one's closer for me. This one's closer for me. But man, the double-digit targets for Jonnu has been awesome. I mean, for Chig has been awesome. The matchup's better for Chig. Chigosium. Do I go Chigosium or Jonnu? But Jonnu has still been getting it done. But Tyler Huntley. Those down weeks with Tyler Huntley. We're gonna go Chig. We're gonna go Chig. McMillan or Downs? I have McMillan ranked higher. I got McMillan inside my top 25. He's a strong wide receiver 2 for me. Downs is right behind him. I have Downs just a couple of spots below, but if I'm going to go with my rankings here, I'm going to go with Jalen McMillan slightly. But I will say, if your gut's telling you Downs, go with Downs. It's close up my ranking, Steve. That I don't want to be. I don't have enough confidence in McMillan over Downs for you to go against your gut. So if you're going to go strictly with my rankings, I'm going to go McMillan. If it was my team, I'd go McMillan. But if you have an inclination, if you're feeling it in your loins for Downs, go Downs. Johnny Detroit, good morning. Lost Hurts this week. Flacco or Pickett. Dude, I wish I lost Hurts this week. I lost Hurts last week, which is why I didn't make the championship in my family league, a league that I was doing very good in. But my wife also, who was in that league, she got bounced, and she has Trey McBride, Jamar Chase, and Ladd McConkey. So if we had both made the championship, she'd probably be waxing the floor with me right now. So I guess it all is. But anyway, I digress. Flacco or Pickett? I'm going Flacco. I'm going to go Flacco slightly. I like the matchup for Flacco against the Giants. It's a pretty easy matchup. Better weapons. And the weather doesn't look to be too bad for the passing attack, right? This is a top 8 matchup for quarterbacks. I'm going to go with Flacco here over Pickett. It's P-Rob. It's awesome. I thought so. When I said probably, I'm like, what an idiot. That can't be right. So P-Rob, what's up, dude? And of course, thanks. Thank you for tapping in. Bryce in the Superflex, on the fence if I should play him or pivot to a tight end like Chig or Hawkinson in there. Kittle's a starting tight end, and this is also the full point TEP. Let me check the thing here. I got to check something for you. Because this is a pretty razor thin, a pretty good call. I do like Bryce. He's a top 18 quarterback for me this week. He actually went up into 14 overall after the updates. 45% chance of rain. There's some thunderstorms with a little bit of wind. So do you go? And I don't know. Bryce has been good, but I don't know if Bryce has been like ripping it up. You know what I'm saying? He's been good. We'd like to see the progress. Good week last week. Great week last week. In that game against Atlanta or Arizona, but he's usually all right. All right. I've made my decision. I'll help you out here, P-Rob. I'm gonna go with 2 tight ends here. You got the full point. So this is a 2.0 TEP, right? You get the full point for the PPR and then the full point for the tight end reception. And if that's the case, I'm gonna go 2 tight ends. It could be a good day for Hawkinson on the inside of that game or the inside of the field during that game, and back-to-back double-digit target weeks for Chig. I'm going to chase it. It feels gross to go 3 tight ends in this, but I don't know if Bryce has the upside. That those both have with that scoring. Man, that's a good one, though. So Kittle, Hawkinson, because Hawkinson was talked about a minute ago, over Chig. So is it Chig or is it Bryce Young? Chig or Bryce? The matchup's good for Bryce. Let's see what he did against them last time. 25 points. But the weather might be bad. I'm going to go 2 tight ends here, P-Rob. I'm going to go 2 tight ends. I'm going to go with 3 tight ends in your lineup here. I'm going to go with 3 tight ends. But if you can't stomach the 3 tight ends and you don't want to listen to me, I get it. Bryce has been good enough. But I do like the targets, and I love the extra TEP. Yeah. So, that's a massive jump, especially for a guy like Chigakonkwo, who's getting a ton of targets. And it might be tough to pass downfield with the weather. They might look for a little bit shorter attack. Mason Rudolph going to guys like Spears and Chigakonkwo. So I would go with 3 tight ends. I don't feel great about it. So if you don't want to go 3 tight ends, because I understand that's crazy jumbo package in the fantasy championship, I get it. Bryce is not a bad play, like I said, top 15 guy for me, so I do like him. But this scoring, man, his scoring is pretty wild. All right. Anything else in the chat? Make sure you leave it here. Like I said, I'm gonna stick around here for a few more minutes. If there's nothing in the chat, we'll sign off here, and you can ask me on X. I'm at Matty Kiwoom on X. So if you have any questions there, feel free to drop it. Or if you want to get where all the big dogs be talking pre-snap, pre-kickoff, go to patreon.com/South Harmon. Jump in. We got a lot of a lot of conversations about a lot of start decisions to be made. You can head over there and get in the chat here. We're always popping. It's always live. It's always a lot of chitter chatter. So patreon.com/South Harmon. And like I said, now's a great time to join because we're going to be diving into our off-season content. Dynasty never sleeps, and we don't either at South Harmon. So there's a lot that's going to be going on in the off-season. And now is actually a perfect time to plug this. For the new year, South Harmon is going to give you guys, we're going to give you a sale, give you a little discount to show our love and our appreciation to you for tuning in, tapping in with me and Mike and Adam and T-Rock and Eric and Coop and Fizz and Cody and everyone you've been rocking with here at South Harmon this year. We want to give our appreciation to you. So 15% off the Patreon annual subs. 15% off. 15. Like I said, we're doing this for you. We love you. So we're going to give you 15% off the Patreon annual subs. You got to use the promo code 54A45. 54A45. That's 54A45. 54A45. Use that promo code and get 15% off the Patreon annual subscriptions. And like I said, in the offseason, you'll get access to our film sessions, our rookie ranks, and our offseason trade strategies, roster strategies, optimization strategies. So now is the perfect time to join us at Patreon. Like I said, patreon.com/South Harmon. Use that promo code 54A45 and get 15% off your annual subscriptions because we got it popping in the championship week and we ain't slowing down when it's all said and done. Dynasty never sleeps, and neither do we at South Harmon. Even your boy who handles the seasonal stuff here at South Harmon. I'm going to dip my toes in. Plus, we got some big seasonal announcements, seasonal strategy, seasonal league format announcements coming up this offseason. So you're going to want to make sure you're tuning in, tapping in with us over at South Harmon. Like I said, use that promo code 54A45. Get 15% off your annual subscription at patreon.com/South Harmon. Laporta or Janu, chat. Who's chat? Who am I missing? The chat. Chig? Chigosium? Talking about my guy Chigosium? Either way, if it is whoever, doesn't matter, I'm going to go Laporta. The only tight end I'm starting over Laporta, you either had to have started McBride retroactively or to have Brock Bowers. I got Laporta at 3. He's 2 right now after the update, so I'm going to go Laporta. Give me Laporta on Monday night. Drake London, Adam Thielen, or Neighbors in half-point PPR can only start 1. I have Adam Thielen ranked high. I mean, at Malik Neighbors ranked highest. And so I would rank these Malik, Drake London, Adam Thielen. I would go Neighbors here in half-point PPR. And then, but if your gut's telling you not, I like I said, Drake second, London third. Drake London second, Thielen third. But I'm going to go Neighbors if given that choice. So first and foremost, thank you guys for hanging out with me all season. Dr. B. Harris in the chat. Dr. B, my guy. P. Rob, a new friend. Johnny Detroit, I've seen you here a lot. You're the man. Steve, Gerald. Saw Shane tapping in. T-Rock, Fizz, Matt, Kondo. Everybody who's been tuning in, tapping in. DB, Dynasty, Barry. Everybody tunes in, taps in. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been a great season, a fun season. We've had our ups. We've had our downs. There have been some good calls. There have been some bad calls. It's a process. But I hope that you got some information throughout the season. I hope you had some fun on Sunday mornings. First, we started at 9, then we bounced to 10. So, yeah, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to say happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating. I hope you're having a blast, a great time. I can hear my kids right now playing with their horse toys, just clopping upstairs. Good thing I got the nice Shure mic. Shout out Shure. But yeah, it's been a great season. I appreciate each and every one of you guys making the season so much fun. Really a blast, making it so easy to come to the mic every Sunday morning and chat it up. But this will be the last game plan of this season, not ever, just of this season. And then, like I said, we got a lot going on in at South Harmon. We're probably gonna have a pretty slow January, as most fantasy platforms do. But we'll still be bringing some stuff out there, some content. You want to check it out. And of course, you can find me on X if you have any questions, playoff, DFS, playoff bets, or whatever you want to just shoot the shit. Like I said, now's the perfect time to join patreon.com/South Harmon, become a member of the shit community, and use promo code 54A45. Get yourself 15% off your annual subscription. But now is the perfect time. We're wrapping up 2024, but we're already looking forward to 2025 and beyond. And you're going to see a boy diving into a lot of the Dynasty talk as we get things going. And then, of course, a lot of announcements for the seasonal fans out there, the seasonal people out there. A lot of big announcements coming on that front. Just stick around for it. And then, of course, 40 chess. 40 chess ain't going nowhere. We're taking, the holiday break off, but we'll be back, me and Mike, January 7th, back in the booth recording the next episode of 40 chess, and then we're going to be locked and loaded, and you can see videos. There's just got a lot that's going to be coming. But I just want to say thank you for rocking with me at the game plan here. It's been great. Tyreek Hill, Amir Abdullah, Juwan Jennings, pick 2 would definitely go Jennings. I don't know. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'm like, fuck. I can't believe I might play Amir Abdullah over Tyreek Hill. But I'm going to. Dynasty Alex, I would play Abdullah and I would play Jennings. Yeah. I've been chasing the Tyreek Hill big game. I chased it with Brett Huntley or Tyler Huntley early on. Never really got it. Been chasing it all this year. It came a couple times. But not crazy. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying that. Yeah, I'm going to Amir Abdullah. Disgusting. Ugh. PPR flex play. Got to pick 2, A-Chain, Spears, or Garendo. I'm going to go A-Chain. I'm going to go Garendo. A-Chain, Garendo. I do like Spears, though. I do like Spears a lot today. He's boosted up my rankings with everything that's been coming out over the last 2 days. But A-Chain, he's just been so good, and he's just so electric. And the weather's going to be bad, so there's going to be a lot of opportunities, I think, for short passes and getting him the ball in space. So I'm still going to stick with A-Chain, and I'm going to go Garendo. And that's going to be it. It's going to wrap up the show. Thank you guys for rocking me today. Thank you guys for rocking me all season. It's been a blast. We will spend some time apart, but I'll be back, and we will be game planning sure enough. Oh, one last one. I can't leave this out. It's a kicker. McManus or Elliott? Go McManus. Indoors. Smitty. We're going to go Brandon McManus. But yeah, you can find me on X, the Everything app, at Matty Kiwoom. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel here at YouTube, South Harmon FF. Like this video. Hit that like button. Let's get those like buttons up. Let's get them up. Leave a comment. If I didn't get to your question after we sign off, leave a comment, and I'll get back to it before kickoff. Patreon.com/South Harmon. Like I said, get in now. Perfect time. We're about to get into the off-season content. We have a lot on the horizon, and use the promo code 54A45 for 15% off at South Harmon. Patreon.com/South Harmon. Then, of course, SouthHarmonFF.com. Get there. Get part of the WoRP worshiper. Get the rankings. Get the Cuck score. The WoRP. Get all that stuff. SouthHarmonFF.com. Jake Elliott is indoors too. Oh, they're in Dallas. Oh. No, they're not. They're in Philly, aren't they? They're in Philly. Hold on. My whole world's been shaken up. My whole world. During the sign-off? Oh, man, what a crazy way to end the season. Hey, but, I'm doing this for you guys. I love you guys. I'll stick around to make this happen because I have now been operating potentially under false pretenses all morning, all day. Yeah, it's in Philly. Yeah, it's in Philly. All right. First Dallas. Jake Elliott, right? The kicker of the Eagles. Yeah, Jake Elliott's not indoors. He's in Dallas. I mean, he's not in Dallas. He is in Philly. It's wet there. We talked about it, Smitty. We talked about it. Okay, sorry. Anyway, Brandon McManus. Where was I? Anyway, most importantly, patreon.com/South Harmon. Promo code 54A45, 15% off your yearly subscription. I'm Matty Kiwoom. Keep game planning, my friends, and then I will see you when I see you. Good luck in the fantasy championships. Peace.